if they are going to be banning out Taliyah here or if they're willing to give it over. They are not going to be banning out the Taliyah, so I wouldn't be surprised if FURIA just first pick Taliyah. If they don't, C9's going to take it for sure, and both Pantheon and Vi are up, so I feel like FURIA have to take Taliyah here. Otherwise, you're giving over Pantheon Taliyah to APA. So I'm actually shocked. They're going to go Yunara first, because to me then, I just go like Pantheon Taliyah, and then you just do Corki Nami, or really like any of these types of lanes that are relatively strong.
I don't know. According to Twitch chat, Azael, Pantheon's a fake jungler.
Wow.
So if you listen to the average Twitch viewer,
I'm so surprised. Taliyah just getting completely ignored. And they could just get Pantheon Taliyah on 2-3 then?
yeah, I mean, it is up actually, and it wouldn't be a terrible matchup for Ryze. We know that Tutsz could play the Nivea instead if they want.
Yeah, I mean, if you do Pantheon Taliyah, then obviously the Lulu could get banned out, so you're losing that. But I just think Pantheon Taliyah is so strong.
How about a Pantheon Lulu?
I mean, it's not bad at all. Obviously, Pantheon is just a generically strong jungler. I just think the pairing with Taliyah is so powerful. It allows you to play side lanes really, really effectively. And what we see from C9, they already want to play towards sides, right? You have Thanatos on the Ambessa. They can throw some protection bans for him. So I think Renekton's going to get banned out by Cloud9 for sure. They're at least going to throw that to try to, limit that. But you also have Ryze. Now we have Malphite getting brought in as well. So a lot of team fighting here for C9, but also the ability to play towards those side lanes, try to get Thanatos ahead. And Taliyah going to be completely ignored in this draft thus far. There's a Renekton ban I knew was going to happen. If I'm C9, I'm still banning Taliyah here. And I just do bans on Renekton and Taliyah to deny that pairing. And then if I am FURIA, I'm banning out like Corki, Nami, these types of champions. So Corki's going to get banned. And then Ashe is already banned, so I'm trying to think about the
next one would be.
I mean, Corki Nami is kind of like really common. You can go Lucian lanes into this. You can also do, I mean, you have a lot of options. You can go scaling alongside it. You can do
Renata coming back up. Yeah.
That's another option. You also can just go really safe and play like Ezreal. Ezreal Karma are both up. So I think if I'm FURIA, I would actually probably ban Karma next.
Yeah, Karma feels like it's the
more
annoying
enables
of that combo.
A lot of those poke lanes.
We'll see what their final one is. A Silas ban, I do like that.
Oh yeah, of course you have Malphite.
Tutsz will play it, and you are already showing Malphite. So Taliyah, Pantheon is available. Interesting that FURIA were able to actually potentially go for it, and they do agree with you. It's a good Karma ban.
Yeah, I mean, the Silas was absolutely required. I was just kind of autopiloting to Taliyah needs to get banned because Taliyah is OP. So it's going to be Neeko. So they do take another strong laning support here. You are going to need that when you are playing against Yunara Lulu. It's actually a really strong 2v2, and it scales to infinity, so it's just a super strong lane, right? And that's why we're seeing it become so popular. Enchanters in general are just kind of super OP right now. And so are we going to get the expected Taliyah, or are they just going to completely ignore it through the draft? Would be very surprising. I feel like it's the strongest mid-jungle duo right now in the game, so I would be pretty surprised, but they are just going to go first. Just going to go for Akali.
Yeah.
So no Taliyah at all. And they're going to go back to the Volibear top. So Renekton gets banned, they go Volley, and this is, again, one of these matchups where I think we actually saw Thanatos play this exact matchup in their last series against them, I want to say.
Yeah, and I know Guigo, I was excited thinking, is it the Dusk and Dawn build? And it was Tank instead. Yeah, he went for the Fimble Winter, he went for Unending Despair second, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was just about neutralizing Thanatos, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense. I will say if you go tank Volley and you get behind, you are going to be pretty useless. Yeah. In that game, though, in particular, all of his other lanes were winning, so it just doesn't matter, right? Like, if all of your lanes are winning and you're playing Volley top, I think going tank is actually absolutely the correct decision, because when you're in a position where bot and mid are winning hard, as top, your job is to just keep the game stable, right? Like, you are the only way that this game could kind of get out of control, so just keep it stable, and we'll see if Guigo is going to go for the same type of situation. Akali is something that Tutsz is really good at, really comfortable on, so we'll see how he does perform. Very interesting, though, to see how much Taliyah just completely fell through the draft.
Yeah.
Because it is such a popular pick, and especially for APA, I really do associate that pick very, very heavily with him. But
especially seeing like an Ambessa, because like Unraveled Earth, you want to think about how much breadth of counter pick do you get from that, not just the pairing with the Pantheon, but then like being able to counter things pretty good into Ambessa. Maybe not as much in the Ryze if he's thinking he just wants to be able to smash his lane, because we know that Tutsz is an insane Akali player. He can take over games. Coming into the event, the expectation that I heard from the English casters was like, he's had rough Akali games, so sometimes they get nervous when they see the Akali come out, but recent performances have all been good. Zven just gave the camera a little side eye right there. That was very comical. I feel like that should be like a clipped moment right there. C9 socials, take that still and save it for later, depending on how the rest of the series goes. I'm giving them some magic here. Where was that camera? Wait, is that? Now I'm like, how was that there? Because Vulcan wasn't in the shot. I'm amazed by that camera shot. That was a phantom camera.
It was like this, you know?
Yeah, and maybe that's probably why he gave it a side eye look. He was like, hey, this
camera's touching him.
It's a shoulder cam, turn to the side. But we've loaded on to Summoner's Rift for the grand finals of America's Cup. CB LOL, specifically FURIA, have been making us look like fools up to this point. Let's see if C9 can get their revenge.
But this one's for all the marbles, baby. And,
this one's for all of NA.
Exactly. Tatu going to get spotted. Not going to be able to chase him in or do anything too crazy, but you will know his start point. And it is going to be Neeko Ezreal here for Zven and Vulcan. Very similar to how you want to play out Corki Nami into this lane. It's all about poke, it's all about short trades, and it's about not getting caught by IU with lethal tempo stocked and with that Q stacked up as well. So we'll see how they're going to do on the bot side. This is very, I think, Guigo favored in that 1v1 based on the matchup top side. So Thanatos is just going to be about scaling and maybe waiting till Blaber's there. Maybe you can look for ganks later on. But the real point of power, I think, for C9 is going to be mid, where we should have push early because it is range versus melee. And then on this bot side, if they're hitting their poke, this is definitely a winning 2v2.
Yeah, we see right now early heal. So Vulcan and Zven are actually the ones who go aggressive, but a couple mystic shots. Yeah, JoJo's able to sidestep, and that is a health trade in favor of FURIA, who just answer the heal. So we see that happen a lot, you know, if you're trying to push them off of that level 2, or try and get the level 2 early yourself, you just use it for the move speed, move up. But now it's going to be all the potions used from Zven. Vulcan has one left there, and a slight lead in the bot lane for FURIA.
Oh, ouch. Ooh, that was a big mistake from Thanatos. You cannot ever go into the Sky Splitter. If you get hit by the E, you get crushed in those trades, which is what we saw there. He tried to dash forward. Both the pots are gone off Guigo, though, so he'll probably take a base here, and Thanatos is going to be happy about that. But, you know, we saw that aggressive heal trade. That's kind of the meta these days, is people just trade aggressively, utilizing heal and barrier, and really get in their face. They know that Blaber's clearing bot side. They had a ward on Raptors, so this is completely safe. So he's going to go through, he's going to proxy, use the Sky Splitter and all the AoE from Volley, and then take a base, which means he doesn't have to use TP. And Thanatos is just going to try to push forward and clear that wave really quick so he can take a base of his own. Yeah. Proxying is so powerful because it forces your opponent to stay around. The wave won't be in the middle. It'll crash on the tower. And so it gives you this kind of delayed situation where he's just going to take the tier, refillable, instant TP back, and he's going to try to keep Thanatos, you know, in this kind of awkward spot.
And one of the things about the proxy is that you're able to hit the wave so much earlier than the opponent, go for that back, and like you said, try and cheat to walk up. Ooh, as IU takes a big chunk right there. Get his back on the Zven. JoJo just smacking him down with the glitter lance. Lulu auto's coming in as well, and Vulcan pushes back IU. So Zven very low, but you had the barrier, had the flash held. Now, see if Blaber wants to make any action happen. It's dangerous to try as a level 4 Malphite. You don't have like a lot of CC or ways to get in there. He's
just here to cover. Basically, if they flash forward or something, Blaber walks behind them, right? But other than that, you're not going to be able to do much. And so far, so good here from the FURIA bot lane. I really like that from Vulcan, though. He used the clone to actually pull the wave, so the wave is now stacked on bot side, and it's going to push towards them, so this will give them a little bit of an advantage. Just a few too many skill shots missed in these 2v2 trades that meant it kind of evened out for FURIA.
Blaber was spotted by that ward right there. So they ping it out, and I think he's probably still just going to be happy getting his own camps.
Guigo's going to try to harass him here.
Yeah, Guigo's walking forward. Thanatos has the wave under his turret as Guigo will walk up and just try and bother Blaber. Level 5 Volibear, it is a scary position to stick around long time. Yeah, so he decides to back off.
Yeah, it would be risky to fully commit there. I mean, if he goes in, he's not level 6, he doesn't have his ult to get over a wall or anything. Thanatos could collapse, and he could eventually get chased down, but still good information. They know exactly where he is, and just going to be harassing as much as possible as Tutsz just trying to take these trades, but the Rune Prison did land, and APA is doing just fine in this matchup. Neither of the mid laners have based, and they both still have a potion remaining here.
We saw that APA tried to base earlier, and Tutsz actually stopped it. That time the Sky Slitter is dodged by Thanatos, but Guigo, even though he took a turret shot, still up in the trade. Yeah, this is such a brutal matchup. We saw this happen last time too. It's like just stat checking.
Yeah.
Volibear wins it, as now Tutsz will actually get damage onto APA. Has the electrocute. Flash from APA. First blood from Tutsz. As top lane, Guigo takes 2 turret shots. Flash from Thanatos, but doesn't get an auto off. So Guigo can flash back to safety. Still though, first blood to Tutsz in the 1v1.
Yeah, rough. APA, I guess, didn't expect him to actually take that E in. And even with the flash, APA gets solo killed. Pretty rough for him, getting solo killed this early. Solo kill before Akali has a buy is just awful.
That is not ideal.
I mean, Blaber gets a kill back. Guigo honestly really lucky to survive there. Thanatos with that flash trade. Guigo had, I don't even know, 20 HP or something like that. So if you get a kill there, that would have been really good for Thanatos. At the very least, he did get the push in, and he was going Cull. So the fact that he's going for a much more greedy build here, just early Cull, scaling up, is nice that he has been able to hold on in this matchup so far.
As we see Tutsz now on the Dragon.
Tatu.
Man, I need glasses. Yeah, can I check yours, see if we have the same prescription?
No.
We can trade it off between fights. Blaber is witnessing this as we get the replay.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, again, this is pre-buy, so the lethality, is pretty low. Like, they're not going to be able to one-shot you, but APA just got so low, and Shuriken Flip hits, and then APA, when he flashes away, he's still in range of that 5 talent strike. I can't remember what it's called. Is it 5 talent strike? What is the Q called? 5-point strike. So he's still in range of that. So he tried to flash away, but then he went back for the Rune Prison and just barely got in range. Had he been able to range that, he definitely lives. But at the end of the day, really well played by Tutsz, and APA hasn't been having the easiest time.
Up here as Guigo's hanging around the river. Has a Stormbringer, I believe. Yes, no flash, but Stormbringer's available. So Unstoppable Force to knock him up.
They don't have the
big
damage.
Chunk out for the heal. And yeah, APA has no AP built currently on Ryze.
I don't understand why Blaber ulted at all. I think it was totally fine. Like you pushed him out, great.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose minions. Just hold on to the Malphite ult there. That made no sense whatsoever to me. If Thanatos is roaming, I think it makes sense, but I think it's so much better to actually hold your ult for a time when you really have threat on a kill, or to even just continue zoning him away, right? Because if you hold him off that wave, then Thanatos is going to deny a full wave, if not 2 waves. So I think they really misplayed that. I think the attempt is totally fine, but yeah, I mean, this is a tier and a couple health crystals on APA, so no shot that they were actually going to kill Blaber.
I mean, maybe you're just thinking
kill Guigo.
Yeah, maybe you're just thinking like the electrocute on the Malphite is going to be enough to push it over the edge. I don't know. Ambitious to say the least. And now that's going to be no Malphite ultimate available for about another 45 seconds here. Yep. So there's a window now where you're not able to contest. I mean, the Dragon was already taken earlier by Tatu, so maybe they're thinking we're not going to get abused for that window, but
yeah,
he is now on his Raptors. As
but you just have no threat, right, during that time, so it's, oh, they're going to Skyfall.
And now Grand Starfall, Blaber, no ultimate, and wishing he had it. Yeah, he was punished for not having that ult.
Yeah, I mean, he has no flash because he used the flash earlier to kill off Tutsz after the solo kill onto APA. So wasted Malphite ult gets spotted out, and they're able to find a nice kill onto him. It's kind of just unforced errors, honestly, from the mid-jungle of C9. Yeah. APA getting solo killed, then Blaber wasting his ult, chasing down Guigo where he would never kill him, and then he gets taken out in the jungle as a result. Really good punish from FURIA.
Yeah, and that's basically, you can make that into a PSA. Honestly, we probably should. Hey, junglers at home, if you're playing Malphite, if you're playing any jungler with an impactful ultimate, don't just use it if you're not going to get the kill, because you can get punished later on. He does have it this time around, though, as now flashed by Tatu, but sets up the public execution. Thanatos is here this time around, and FURIA do not have the numbers. Thanatos with the first kill, as Stormbringer gets Guigo to safety, but one already falls. They got Tatu. Gold for C9. Yeah,
pretty good. We did get 1 kill there. We got 2 flashes and a heal for our flash heal there from Vulcan. So not bad at all. And the fact that Thanatos is the one that gets the kill is pretty nice here. So Cloud9 going to be pretty happy about that. Would have been great if they could have denied that final grub.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't early smite from Tatu. It was down to 70 health, but he's able to finish that before they got out. And of course, Cloud9 would have liked to finish off JoJo as well. Thanatos
Yeah, more kills would have been great as Thanatos finds himself in a 1v1, but Ambessa has so much mobility, can get away. So let's look at this one. It's actually, yeah, flash from the unstoppable force, but then the flash pop loss.
Yep, and then the public execution comes through. They can't finish off JoJo. He hits the wild growth, knock up on multiple people, just flashes out. Tatu, not so lucky, but Guigo able to run as well. And yeah, overall, very, very close game. Some mistakes for sure from Cloud9. The big concern for me is really just what is going to be done about this Akali. The Akali, you know, was kind of gifted this early kill, and then the mistake on the wasted Malphite ult meant he got a second. So it's an 800 gold lead now for the Akali, and you just do not want to let this champion get ahead like that, especially on these Gunblade builds. It is so much burst and a lot of sustain, so you can't even really whittle them down.
And such a differential between the items that APA has as well. Still has not picked up any ability power. This is tier, you know, some magic resist, some health and mana, but, you know, you're building towards that Rod of Ages, you're building towards that Ceres. It's going to take you time to come online, but Akali's online. Like, Akali's at the point already where you're feeling like a champion.
Yep, Akali really, really strong at this point of the game. But Thanatos doing great in the 1v1. He got a kill for himself, and you can see Guigo there, you know, tried to go aggressive with the trade, but when the Sky Splitter doesn't hit, when the E doesn't hit, you know, he's just kind of chasing after Thanatos, but Thanatos just waits out the shield and then turns around and takes a really heavily winning trade, and is on 20 stacks of that call. Thanatos, though, tanking the tower. That is so bad.
Shots. Public execution flash by Guigo into the retreat path of Thanatos, flashes into the brush and is able to get away. Now Blaber's joined in. C9's top laner survives long enough, and Blaber gets the kill.
That's what I call outdumbing him, you know? you troll a little bit, and then they're like,
oh, wait a minute. Tutsz actually showed up from the mid lane, walked up, and finds a trade kill.
Don't like that. All right, 1K lead now for the Akali. Yeah, Thanatos took a couple tower shots and kind of baited Guigo into chasing. Blaber's able to flash, get a kill there. Unfortunate, though, Tutsz is able to get one back again, and they're getting another dragon at the same time. So gold dead even. APA will be able to get a plate. One more auto would have been needed to get a second one there, but nicely played by Tutsz. He doesn't even use his TP or his flash to do it, so he can TP right back to mid lane and defend that tower.
Now he's got the Merc Treads, he's got the Dark Seal, so we can start stacking that up. And Akali not even using the TP for that roam up, just walked up there. Let's see a replay of how he was able to get up there. So already in the mid lane, yeah, this is what we saw on screen, but what I didn't notice was Tutsz from the mid lane. When does he start to walk up?
He's already walking.
Oh, yeah, he's coming up now.
Yeah. And Guigo, I mean, Thanatos just misplayed this, right? He's trying to go for Q harass as he's farming under the tower, but Guigo is queuing towards you, right? He's looking for the stun. So when he hits him with that Q, he gets under the tower, takes a couple of tower shots. Still would have been able to win the 1v1 if he connected on that public execution, but it was a great flash from Guigo. And then Tutsz just comes in, plays that really, really well, snaps back to the Shroud after the kill, and is able to finish that off and get out really cleanly. So Tutsz looking clean on the Akali. Well played by him.
That was actually very well played mechanically. Using that shuriken flip. It's a great effect.
Bad for the volley, though, I will say.
Yeah, Thanatos has finished that first item. And again, with this tankier build, it's not like Volibear is stacking up more damage he's going to be giving. It's to survive. And
you have no armor.
Yeah, true. That's only health. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, which is really a big deal when you are, especially against going, you know, Ambessa already has some armor pen passively from the ulti, and then you get the Eclipse early on. The Cull is going to cash out in 2 more waves, so that is getting a little bit dicey. Blaber will have to be a bit careful, though, as, again, FURIA just always converging around these little objectives, looking to fight. It's part of the play that I really, really like, is they know, all right, when someone is strong, we need to force around them, we need to be aggressive, and you have Akali in this situation where Akali is very far ahead right now, but it's against a team comp that has a lot of AoE CC, so sometimes team fights could be hard later on. And so you want to utilize the Pantheon, the Akali right now to keep pushing the pace and keep kind of snowballing the game.
Yeah, if you get into those, you know, front-to-back team fights, which is never where Akali's going to be good at anyway, but the Neeko ultimate in particular, it's such a big field that you have to play around. Yeah. So to his credit, is not playing for that. Right now he's roaming around getting these side lane plays. Right now he's in the bot lane, gets a plate for himself there. But yeah, that's kind of the focal point for FURIA. Meanwhile, on C9's side, side, I do still see a lot of scaling options, specifically in the Ryze. He hasn't even finished the Rod of Ages yet, so once we get APA to that 2 items, now just finished Rod of Ages there, as I'm pointing it out. So, I mean, like, if they can just maintain this kind of even game state, they're probably feeling all right, but 2 dragons already to Furia, they can start using these to kind of force C9 to play into them. Yeah,
exactly. They're not going to be able to get to 2 items before they have to fight. They have to fight in the next dragon here. Blaber is going to have 2 items because he's going for this cheap build here, you know, with the early Zeeks, and then you kind of just go all support items on this jungle Malphite. So that is great, and he will have his flashback for this next fight. But C9 has really good scaling on their side. I do think both teams have some elements that scale really, really powerfully. Obviously, Lulu Yunara is problematic later. Malphite is a very strong team fighter later on into the game, is good early too, but Thanatos is going to be scaling up, Ryze is going to be scaling up, Ezreal is going to be scaling up. So I think there's a lot of power on both sides. It's just a lot about the initial engage, really. Sure. I mean, C9 have so many go buttons, and it's just going to be, you know, can you absorb and kind of avoid those on the Furia side? Because if IU gets caught by the Malphite ult, then Public Execution is going to hit, the Pop Blossom's going to hit, the Rune Prison's going to hit, everything's going to hit, and you're going to get one shot. So it's kind of all about that initial engage.
And we haven't even seen IU in a fight yet. He's just been farming around. Like, the Yunara fighting is also a real threat to keep in consideration from C9's side. If they don't land their CC onto Yunara, I mean, your Malphite's going in, your Neeko's going in to the auto attack range of this late game carry. So Furia in a fantastic position so far. Herald is going to be the next focus right now as Blaber's engaged on by Tatu. W lands, but not a full commit. Blaber still has his ultimate, so Furia need to be careful if they send too many members forward.
And C9 need to be careful too, because Blaber lost half his health and Zven is poked a bit as well. I feel like we're not in a position to fight this. Tutsz made the move faster as well, so I feel like that little skirmish actually won Furia the Herald. And we have Ambessa down on the bottom side. That is really the only advantage that C9 have right now. I mean, yes, Blaber is up gold as well, but I don't think that C9 really want to take fights without Ambessa. That is kind of the follow-up, you know, on this initial engage that's supposed to help you get those kills. So with Ambessa on bot side, I think they're just going to be waiting for this next dragon, and we'll see if Cloud9 can get vision around that area.
And I want to give more credit to Furia and how they played that position, because it relates to how we had talked about them coming in. Is they were a strong macro team last year compared to the rest of CB LoL. That's a very controlled moment there. When I think of old CB LoL teams and how aggressive they are, I'm like, they're probably all in and sending it there. Because like, oh, we found the Malphite, we chunked him out, we're winning the health bar trade. But no, they decided to back off, let Blaber leave, and like you said, with that health bar trade, just use that to get the Herald.
So now it's the 2 strong solo laners up on that top side. It looks like they're just going to try to go for a tower trade, dropping Herald mid. They're going to be able to get that turret very, very likely, and that will be first tower, but C9 is trying to get back fast enough to answer this. We'll see if they want to force a fight.
So they stop the dragon stacking. Now Blaber's walking forward. The Herald will get the charge off, but it will not clear the entire turret. That's C9, big. They get the dragon and they defend.
Yeah, that's actually really big, because first tower is still up for grabs, and that is a big injection of gold if you lose that. Of course, this tower is still basically 1 auto away. If they can get the minion wave there with the Crystalline Overgrowth, they should be able to finish it. So C9 want to try to defend this pretty heavily, but they are able to grab the dragon uncontested, and Furia don't really get much of anything for it. So C9 going to be happy about how that went. Unfortunately, not defending this tower enough, so the tower is still going to go and into the pocket there of IU.
You know, right when you start to credit them, you need more members to stick around to actually make sure that wave doesn't crash in there. So Furia still do eventually get that turret, but still C9 denied the dragon stacking, so that will buy them a lot more time in this game. And that feels good, because you're able to get to that 2 items for the Ryze before you have to contest for the next one.
IU's on 2 items now here too, though, so he just got a lot stronger. The Shadow Flame is going to be done pretty soon for Tutsz, so they have a lot of really strong members right now, and we're kind of waiting for Thanatos to finish what I assume is going to be Shojin. We're waiting for Zven to finish his Maramana as well, so that's going to be kind of the next big inflection points in the game, and I think C9 should be able to easily get that before the next dragon, and then we're just going to have to see kind of where it goes from there. Again, there have been a number of games that have been quite close against Furia, like this is super winnable, the Sentinels game 1, game 2 were super winnable, but it was Furia always seeming to come up big in those moments, so we'll have to see if C9 is going to be able to step it up here today. We heard the same thing from Zven yesterday, where, you know, for most of the series, he was saying they thought they played really well against Sentinels, but they had some very bad moments too, and they were punished heavily for those.
I think that's making it so that everybody watching from LCS side is experiencing at least a level of anxiety watching this, because we know what C9's looked like so far in this event, and also even just the end of the LCS finals. As another turret will fall for FURIA. We still haven't gotten one on the board for C9. They have AP in the side lane up top, and Thanatos was going for, I believe, just I don't know if that was a reset or why Tutsz was able to just walk up and hit that turret, but either way, now 2 in the pocket of FURIA and a 1.7k gold lead. Pretty much all of that just being Tutsz alone.
Yeah, I mean, Blaber was topside, so Blaber was up on topside, and we didn't have eyes on the Pantheon ult. So I think that's why he's able to walk up. I mean, if you walk up to that tower, it's already low on health, so defending these low health towers can be such a bait where, you know, all of a sudden they just walk up in your face, Pantheon ult comes in, Akali finishes the tower, and then you're kind of just getting one-shot by those two. So I think that was the worry. Plus, I mean, the actual kill of the tower isn't worth that much compared to what it used to be, because the gold is split through all the plates, right?
Yeah, and they already got the first turret.
Exactly, so it's not the end of the world, but...
Oh, speaking of turrets, though, and Pantheon ultimates. Guigo starts it off, turning off the turret, but now Tatu stuck under there as Blaber ulted in. Thanatos joins up as well. FURIA have multiple members backing up their top lane dive, but C9 are still peppering down Guigo. IU, oh, the public execution lands, but the wild growth keeps him safe. Pop blocks on the 2, but he's already down. Tutsz unleashed. FURIA dominating another fight as they will defend C9's re-engage.
How was Zven in the middle of the whole team? Did he just shift into the center of everyone? I need to see that again.
Another look at that, yeah.
What the? I mean, that was awful. That's game, pretty much. I mean, that's just the game, right? You full sent it on a random 5v5 at 20 minutes, top lane, over nothing. Got completely blasted, and now they get Baron for free. So, GG game 1, I think, unfortunately, for C9. And FURIA continues their winning ways. It's just, again, FURIA is outplaying in these bigger moments. You know, we sent the ulti onto Tatu. Tatu does take a tower shot for it, but it's not really a big deal. And I want to track Zven and see what the heck happened to Zven. I mean, we were going very fast, very early on, and there's the public execution. Zven is going forward. Yeah, he just shifts forward into the midst of kind of everyone as, yeah, Tutsz went pretty aggressive, so he shifted forward, but I mean, we just way oversent it. I mean, that was bad from Zven, but also I think Thanatos went way too far. I think they need to slow play that. I don't think that they realized what the fight was actually going to turn into. Even Blaber using the one-man ults on the Pantheon, he was under the tower, so that's the thought process, is lock him under the tower and take those shots.
He wasn't tanking turret the entire time.
No, he only took one tower shot, which basically did nothing to him. And then we have no Malphite ulti, and Zven is shifting forward, and Vulcan got, I guess, just one shot because he has 0 damage dealt in the fight. So that was not a good fight at all from C9, and now you're pretty much in the spot where you're just preying on FURIA mistakes, which they have not really been making a lot of them.
And now another Stormbringer here onto APA. He's got JoJo behind him. Guigo in a 2v2 as Blaber backing up his mid laner, but the wild growth for the CC. Big shield from APA's Seraphs, and he does get to safety. But man, Guigo's a problem, bot lane's a problem. They have the Baron wave, so they can just start sieging these turrets, and nobody's stopping the dragon, because Blaber was just seen topside. So yeah, FURIA, they're not giving these mistakes to C9. They were gifted a great opportunity to take that early Baron, and now they are getting a big gold lead with it.
Yep, I mean, now they're on Soul Point, and it's Hex Soul here. I mean, you can look for Guigo. He has no flash or ult. They might eventually get him.
Should go down, but they don't have a lot of damage right now. APA will realm warp in. JoJo's coming up for the shields. Grand Star Ball used. They can't even kill the ultless, flashless Volibear as the play is turned around from FURIA. Arc of Judgment comes in from IU as he has popped the ultimate. Trying to get some damage back. C9 can at least escape, but they just can't kill anybody. IU with the outplay, and IU will take down Zven.
Yeah, Zven goes in, shifts forward, trying to get some damage back, but even with the flash away, IU just flashes to follow, and you're trying to look for this play on Neeko, but it's a full tank volley, and you're looking with essentially your support, your Malphite jungle, and then APA shows up at the end, but we have no damage to actually kill him, so if it wasn't already fully over, it's definitely super over now, as they are just getting so far ahead. Because now, I mean, Guigo actually doesn't really matter at all, right? Like, you're going for the one player that basically doesn't matter. Tutsz was already very far ahead, and now IU's on 3 items with IE, and Zven is on 2 in scraps. So IU is way stronger, and we don't have enough consistent damage because our Ezreal is way behind. Our Ryze is not accelerated, and Thanatos, his advantages haven't really amounted to anything.
Azael, are you a fan of animated films?
Like what?
Have you ever seen The Iron Giant?
I have, yeah.
I just watched it for the first time last night.
It's a super old movie.
And I think this is more sad than the end of Iron Giant. I was in better mood at the end of Iron Giant than right now. This is tough.
Yeah, it's kind of a continuation of a lot of the event for C9 is unfortunately, you know, they played most of the game well. But, you know, that top lane mistake was obviously pretty huge. APA and Blaber had made some mistakes early, but they weren't game losing. They weren't that big of a deal, and Thanatos had created an advantage even, you know, with the counter pick and whatnot. He was in a good spot. Bot was dead even. But fights are not built equally in League of Legends, so.
Yeah. So here's a replay of the extended play after Guigo had already ulted, and like it's comical how little damage they do to him.
Yeah, I mean APA just arrived at the very end. So if APA is there at the start, you kill him for sure, obviously, but he is not there. And Malphite ult, Pop Blossom, not going to do much to this very tanky volley. As we're back to live.
Alive, yeah, looks like Tatu flew in with the ult. Zven already out of the fight, and FURIA killing the AD carry. Not a lot more that C9 can do to defend at any other plays as APA's pushing up a top wave.
It has been a very rough event for Zven, I will say. He's getting caught a lot. He's kind of been really struggling. Even with advantages, he's been really struggling, I feel like, in a lot of the games. So when I think back to his Kalista game, you know, against, I guess that was against FURIA last time.
Get out. Ah, no. 5-point strike will stop it. Actually, I believe it was even Tatu's Q that stopped it. Either way, APA will pop the ghost and try and waste some time. How much time can he waste? 10 seconds here? 5 seconds? Oh.
I mean, they just want to delay his death timer at this point.
Actually, yeah.
So I don't think it's super working in his favor. I mean, it's all fine. He does at least clear the wave, so that'll be something for him. But Tatu gets the kill at the end of the day, and the lead grows even larger now for FURIA. Cloud9 have to fight the next dragon here, but I don't really see a realistic way that they're going to win it unless. I mean, maybe if IU gets caught by everything in one shot at the start of the fight, you have a chance. But even then, Tutsz at this point might just kill your whole team.
Yeah, we haven't seen C9 even like find these little avenues or these little pockets of vision where they can, you know, pounce on somebody from FURIA walking up to drop their wards. They're always kind of approaching on full vision. Like we're just saying, okay, we see each other, duke it out. I think we got to get a little more creative if we're going to drive out the comeback here.
I mean, the weirdest part to me is that they just full sent it over a nothing fight top lane, and the whole game was just decided over a 5v5 in top lane for nothing, just defending a random
We're going to need to watch that one back live, because like when we get a replay from our perspective, we'll see that Zven's not there like the whole time. Like he's arcane shifting to try and get closer to the fight. By the time he shows up, Tutsz is on him. So,
and the whole point of this comp for C9 is basically you're first to the objective, they have to walk in, and you find a squishy member. It's Malphite ult into Pop Blossom, into Tangle Barbs, into Room Prison, into Public Execution. It's just infinite CC and someone gets one shot, but never really got a chance to group up and go for that.
And now they're walking into a dark jungle themselves. They ult in onto Tutsz, but Tatu rather, he has the wild growth behind him. A triple Pop Blossom by Space, but this is no follow-up. Vulcan still goes down. It looked cool, but Tutsz is just too strong. Guigo's too strong. The damage could not follow up the engage, and FURIA, despite losing one, will still smash the fight. A support for a game win is a trade he'll take every day of the week. Guigo's underneath the turret. That's 5 shots, 6 shots, 7 turret shots. And I think he's just going to walk away from that one. Platform from APA. The overload, he got him! All right.
On
APA,
the board.
He only needed 7 turret shots to help him out, as Tutsz will still find the ace.
Yep, and that's going to be all she wrote. They knocked down the dragon. They get the soul. I mean, Cloud9, you have to send it, right? You have to be looking for this. When you're already that far down, you can't give over a Hextech soul. But they couldn't really find a good target. I mean, it's very unlikely that the fight is going to be won when you're full sending it on the Pantheon with Lulu behind him.
Yeah.
But they know that they have to choose someone. They have to go for it. Vulcan had a really good ult, but they couldn't coordinate that with anything else, right? You know, nothing is hitting the backline at the same time. If he hits that ult and Thanatos is in there and Blaber's in there, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
But we're never really getting to see that at all. The game was kind of decided before they got a single good team fight.
Guigo and Tutsz also were just like zoning everyone out. So like, yeah, flashing over the wall as Vulcan with the Pop Blossom.
Look at the gold lead in bot lane. It's 5K individual gold lead now for IU. Zven is just completely out of this game. It's 4.5 items versus 2.5 items.
That is actually one of the bigger bot lane gaps I think I've ever had the privilege of casting. Doesn't feel like a privilege right now. FURIA on the Baron. C9 can't even walk up to contest, so they're going to get this one. It looks like Thanatos will trade for the bottom turret, but that is the first turret that C9 will take in this game at 29 minutes. If he can even get it, it's taken a while. He's got the wave there. I assume it's going down. We'll have to celebrate it if it happens. I can still holding, but there we go. Okay, we got there.
Big. All right,
got one.
We're back in it.
Nobody beats C9 without giving up at least a turret.
Yeah.
That's what
so
we're
far.
learning now.
So far. Yeah.
Don't check the tape, because I'm not confident in that statement, actually. FURIA, though, with their next Baron. They have the Dragon Soul. Realm Warp in. It's Vulcan. Sent for the Pop Blossom, but he doesn't even get it off. Looks like it was actually used, but just didn't land. Either way, FURIA not threatened as Ayu gets back over the wall. Tutsz is onto APA. FURIA just slaughtering C9 in their own base with a game one that could have been an email and a cakewalk for FURIA. They will maintain their undefeated streak to kick off the Grand Finals best of 5.
6 games in a row. All right, I want to watch that top lane fight back. We're going to watch that back because that's where it was decided. FURIA crush us in game 1. I'm going to go to the ADC.
Okay. While Azael's doing that, I mean, the Brazilian crowd has a reason to cheer because they have a champion worth making some noise for. FURIA again are just crushing the competition here. It was close, but this wasn't FURIA falling behind early game like they were against Sentinels and then having to find a comeback. It was an even game state this time around. And Azael's going to show at C9, we just full send it onto them. Yeah, they were the ones looking for the dive on the turret initially, so they don't have the Volibear ult, they don't have the Pantheon ult, so like, I understand the beginning of why C9 would want to try something, but as Azael will show us here momentarily, the rest did not go our way.
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready, so we can swap over here to this view and see in game. So this is right before it happened here. You know, it is a slight gold advantage, of course, there for FURIA. You can see it in the mid lane. That is basically where their entire gold advantage is. But Thanatos has a pretty significant lead. Bot lane is, you know, behind a bit, but everything is going okay for C9, and it's going to be about teamfight execution, you have to think. But then we can see here on the map, everyone from FURIA is going to be moving up. They do have eyes on this. This ward just got dropped, and that shut off the vision, but obviously there's C9 pings everywhere in this area. They know that something is going to happen, so clearly they're making the call. All right, let's try to respond to the dive. So Guigo is going to look to start this off. He turns off the tower. APA is just going to pop Ghost, get his phase rush procced, and he's basically just going to kite Guigo away from the tower. The tower is disabled this whole time, though, right? So the tower has not heated up whatsoever. You can see there's no passive stacks on it, has not heated up. So Blaber goes in for the ulti, but we already see all 3 of these guys here. Yeah. So to me, at this point, I feel like C9 could have just taken what they got and backed off. If you are going to go for the fight, this is not a good enough ulti from the Malphite, right? Just now, the tower reactivates, and as Tatu walks out, he takes 1 turret shot. But, like, that is all the ulti really got there. It needs to be used in conjunction with the Pop Blossom, with the public execution. Zven is also pretty behind the play. He's been running here this whole time, but he is behind the play. So C9 are going to go forward. The initial part of this, obviously pretty good. You get some chunk down onto Guigo, but this is where it feels like we started to really rush it, right? Again, Zven is back here. He has no arcane shift, and we have no unstoppable force, and we're going to full send it into the backline onto the tank Volibear. This is the tank Volibear. This is not even Ayu. Ayu is in the midst of the team. Vulcan is looking for an angle for a Pop Blossom. These are the targets we need to be going for, right? We need to be going for the squishier members. So we send it in onto Guigo. Not only is there not really a possibility of follow-up here, but then look at where Tutsz is, right? So now Tutsz is going to be moving in between the backline and the target. So Tutsz is going to step forward here. He's going to ult in. And now Zven is in this really difficult position. Vulcan is getting free hit by Ayu, and we're focusing a tank Volibear in the midst of this. So Zven tries to shift away. He tries to get away from Tutsz as they're looking for this Pop Blossom at the same time. Vulcan gets 1 shot. Zven is in the middle of the whole team. He dies. Guigo doesn't even go down. Just really kind of a whole comedy of errors there from Cloud9, from target selection, from coordination. Kind of everything went bad in this team fight, and that is just not good enough as far as the team fighting is concerned. The target selection was bad. The execution was bad. And we're not putting any pressure. I mean, look, this is the end of the team fight. Look at the health on the Akali, and and on the Yunara. They're full health.
This was like a picture-perfect team fight. If you're a team that has an AD carry that wants to just hit the nearest person and shred tanks, if you have an assassin that wants to get on the back line, both of those were able to do exactly what they wanted to do in that fight. Like, I was autoing the entire time, and Tutsz just got onto Zven immediately and just one-shots him.
Yep. All right, let's pick up the PGB. We can see that. This was a tough game.
Yeah, 23.5k damage done by IU. Great work from the Yunara. Even Guigo in the top lane getting insane damage numbers there. We had 3 players from FURIA out-damage C9 when, I mean, it's not like C9 didn't have members to hit. They were still hitting Volibear the entire time, but we just saw a difference in execution in those team fights, specifically that one. The Goldie gets so massive. And then, you know, full sending onto the Pantheon at the end there by the Dragon Soul. Like, again, you got to find something to do, but there's the Wild Growth behind it. There's the Aegis Assault to block all the damage after the knockup ends. So it's like,
I mean, that one wasn't a great fight, but that one, the game's already pretty over, right, at that point. So at that point, you don't have the luxury of choosing good fights, right? So I blame them less for that fight when you already have them at soul point, you're way down on gold, you have no vision, you're walking in, and you basically just have to take what you can get. But the earlier fight was kind of more of an unforced error. They had taken a dragon or two. You know, there was not a big threat of soul. There was nothing that they really needed to force their hand over, and we just never saw Cloud9 really get to execute on what the whole point of the comp is, which is this layering of AoE CC, this layering of AoE ultimates. You can Realm Warp in a Pop Blossom, you can Realm Warp in a Malphite, you can follow that up with a public execution. Not once did we see a layering of these ultis, and so it's really disappointing from Cloud9. You know, they put themselves in a position where they would have a chance despite the early mistakes, but FURIA plays it better, and in this one, I feel like Cloud9 is just making it too easy for him. Yeah, and Tutsz, I think, well-deserved for player of the game, 8-1-3 on the Akali. We were talking about, the Talia's up, it's right there, but like, if you got the Akali in your back pocket and you feel like it's the right comp for it and you're able to pull off those early roams, like he went topside, he gets a kill, he's able to get all around the map. I mean, he solo killed APA when all he had was a D shield. Yeah. And then he gets up top and gets the kill there. They get the pick on Blaber for the missing ultimate. I mean, they've done a great job at punishing C9's mistakes. But C9 are making a lot of mistakes. They're making it too easy for them. Yeah. Well, hey, C9, they're down, they're not out. They have a chance to turn things around, but we both predicted FURIA anyways. So I think from this side, things are going according to plan, right? There's no chance Cloud9 can come back from a 1-0 deficit. There's no chance. Speaking of the plan here, a reminder, everybody, that we not only have America's Cup, we not only have First Stand, we also have LCS Spring Split right around the corner. It's beginning April 4th. Tickets are available March 10th, so set your calendar for then if you want to come for opening weekend. And it's going to begin with the matchup of finals from C9 versus Lion. Lion are going to have Loud actually ahead of them in First Stand. There's the draw already, so we'll see which LCS team looked better against the CVLOL teams ahead of the Spring Split match. But reminder, set your calendars for March 10th to buy tickets for April 4th Spring Split. That's it for Game 1. We're going to send it to a short